رب العالمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا ثم أما بعد. الإمام ابن حجر رحمه الله تعالى يقول في كتاب بلوغ المرام كتاب الصيام The book of Siyam from بلوغ المرام قال عن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنه عن حفصة أم المؤمنين رضي الله تعالى عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من لم يبيت الصيام قبل الفجر فلا صيام له رواه الخمسة. من لم يبيت الصيام من الليل من قبل الفجر فلا صيام له. In this hadith, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no fasting is accepted from the one who does not commit his intention to fast before dawn. Which means if you would like to make your siyam for the fard obligatory siyam of fasting, you have to have the intention for it at night before Fajr. So that's based on what we mentioned last time when we said if you fast that day of doubt, Yawm al-Shak, 1 or 2 days right before Ramadan begins. So how are you going to fast that day? If you say I'm going to fast anyway, so just in case, if it was Ramadan, alhamdulillah, it counts Ramadan for me. And if it wasn't Ramadan, still it's considered nothing. No. When it comes to the obligatory, you have to start fasting with that confirmed intention. That is considered fasting for an obligatory fast for the month of Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ again said, مَنْ لَمْ يُبَيِّتِ الصِّيَامَ قَبْلَ الْفَجْرِ فَلَا صِيَامَ لَهُ. Okay, when should you start that intention? Does it have to be right before Fajr? Or can it be at night, right after Isha? Let's say tomorrow is Ramadan. Let's assume tomorrow is Ramadan. Now that we press out Isha, do you need to have the intention to start fasting for tomorrow by doing your intention right now, before you go to sleep? Or do you have to wake up before Fajr to make that intention for fasting that day? طيب, do you have to wake up before Fajr to make that intention?
No.
Or is it sufficient before you go to sleep? It's sufficient before you go to sleep. It is sufficient before you go to sleep. So you know that tomorrow is Ramadan. It was announced, for example, that Ramadan, the moon has been sighted. So the next day is going to be Ramadan. When you go home, before you go to sleep, as long as you have the intention to start fasting the next day, alhamdulillah, you have already made that intention for fasting. So that's the first one. The second one, when it comes to fasting, or to making that intention, do you have to make that intention for every single day of Ramadan? Meaning, you have to have that intention every single night to fast the following day? Or one intention is sufficient for the beginning of the month of Ramadan? Every single day you have to have intention? Yes. Ya Jama'ah. Ramadan, how many days? 29, 30, right? So when you have intentions, are you dividing the month into 30 different units? Or the month of Ramadan is a whole, holistic thing? Well, the ulama, they argue on this mas'ala, by the way. Some of them, they say no. Every single day is a wajib by itself. It's an obligation by itself. So therefore, you have to have intention for every single day. Other ulama, they say no, Ramadan is a whole. So it's not divided into these days. So it is enough to have one intention for the entire month of Ramadan. Wallahu ta'ala, this is actually the right opinion. That you have one intention for the entire month. From the beginning of the month, right before the beginning of the month, you have that intention to fast every single night, every single day. So eventually you have it, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, until the end of the month of Ramadan. Another mas'ala. How would you do that intention? How you make that intention? Do you have to pronounce? Do you have to have specific rituals for that? No specific rituals for that. Just having that intention in your heart will be sufficient. As an evidence for this, waking up at night to prepare for your suhoor. That's an evidence. I mean, if you wake up, let's say someone woke up late at night before Fajr, and then they prepared their meal and their food, they ate, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, everything, and then they heard Adhan al-Fajr. They didn't get a chance to say, I'm fasting tomorrow. They didn't get a chance to have that. Would that day count for them? Absolutely. Because what did they wake up for anyway? They woke up to prepare suhoor in order to prepare for fast the next day. That itself is considered the intention and the niyyah. So as long as you do that, inshallah ta'ala, will be sufficient for you, bi'idhnillahi azza wa jalla. So this intention has to be maintained throughout the entire day as well. Is that clear, Jama'ah? Let's say you needed to travel the next day. You're traveling next day, so you woke up, you have your suhoor, and then somehow during the day you decided, you know what, since I'm traveling anyway, I'm not going to fast. Khalas, today I'm not going to fast, I'll break my fast inshallah. I'll fast after the month of Ramadan. But then after half an hour or so, you did not eat anything, you didn't drink anything. You said, you know what, I changed my mind, I'll fast this day. Would that day count for you? Remember, you did not eat anything. You just made the intention to break the fast of that day. Khalas, I'm not fasting right now. I'm gonna basically you're not gonna fast this day because you're traveling, and you will make up for that day following day basically. But you did not eat anything. If that intention that you made, intention to break the fast, which means I will break the fast, or is it saying, Khalas, today I'm not fasting, I'm not going to count this as a fasting day? If you made it as you're not fasting this day at all, then that day actually should not be counted. It means you need to make up for that day after Ramadan, even though you did not eat anything, because the intention was broken right now for fasting that whole day. However, if you decided to continue, or if you decided not to travel, and you decided to stay, that doesn't mean since you're not fasting anyway, you go and you party. No, you still need to abstain until Maghrib. حُرْمَةً لِلزَّمَانِ وَحُرْمَةً لِلْوَقْتِ, out of respect to the day and out of respect to the hours of the month of Ramadan. Wallahu ta'ala. Any question, Ajay? Yes?
If the intention, according to the hadith, that you cannot have that intention after 30.
No.
So, but they didn't limit it, like how back in time you can make the intention. For example, if now I know, inshallah, if Allahumma baligna Ramadan.
No.
I have the intention from now that I'm going to fast Ramadan. This
No.
is going to be counted as an intention, especially if I'm traveling from outside coming back home.
No.
And I don't know, according to the local, community, it's going to be Ramadan or not.
No.
This is one.
Very good question. Now, if someone is traveling, coming from overseas, for instance, and they're coming right before the beginning of the month of Ramadan, but they don't know if tomorrow or the next day is going to be a fasting day or not until they arrive, right? So when you fly 16 hours, you wouldn't know if it's going to be actually the next day Ramadan or not. So what do you do about this issue? When you arrive, can you make the intention on the airplane that you're fasting if it was Ramadan? And if it wasn't Ramadan, you break the fast? Now that intention doesn't count. That intention doesn't count. You have to have the intention to fast, knowing that the next day is Ramadan. And if you couldn't tell by any means that this is Ramadan, in this case, khalas, you break your fast for that day, and you make up. If it was Ramadan, you make up for that day after Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. Unless if you were flying and you saw the hilal yourself. If you were able to see the hilal, alhamdulillah, you fast and you tell everybody on the airplane, tomorrow's Ramadan, ya Jama'ah. Of course, you're not yet obligated to fast anyway because you're still traveling. There's another way also of knowing if it's Ramadan or not. If there's an internet access Wi-Fi on the airplane, simply log on to valleyranchmasjid.org and you will see the announcement, inshallah, tabaraka wa ta'ala, and you will know that if it's Ramadan or not. Another situation, another issue, if you know someone, have access basically to the pilots, they can ask you if it's actually Ramadan or not, and they can give you an answer, inshallah ta'ala. But you cannot start fasting with that shak, that doubt. I'm not sure if tomorrow is going to be Ramadan in Dallas or not. I'm not sure about that. You cannot fast, so the following day when you arrive and it's not Ramadan, alhamdulillah. But if it was Ramadan, you still need to make up for that day. Thank you very much. No.
So the first part of the question that we cannot make the intention, let's say 2 days before Ramadan.
You cannot make that intention 2 days before.
The day before.
It has to be the day before. Wallahu a'lam. For women, a question from the ladies. For women, how should women do the intention for all the 30 days of Ramadan when she has her period? Well, she needs to make the intention to fast the month of Ramadan. For her, the month of Ramadan is the allowable period that she can fast. which means if she would fast the 30 days, alhamdulillah, she would fast the 30 days. If she's going to have to break it for a week, then her obligation is actually to break the fast of these days. So that's her obligation in Ramadan. And she will continue fasting the rest of the month, inshallah ta'ala. So she just makes the intention, not for the number of days, because Ramadan could be 29 or 30. She makes the intention for the month of Ramadan, regardless. Whether it's 29 or 30, or for her in particular, she has to break a few days, she'll be fine, inshallah ta'ala. Yes, Abba. No. No. The question, if someone wants to travel, so they say, if I'm traveling tomorrow, I'm going to break my fast. Can you make that intention before Fajr? The answer, yes, you can make that intention. However, it does not break your fast until the next day, until the day starts. Meaning, when you start, you need to make the intention or the decision to continue fasting or to break your fast. That intention by itself doesn't break your fast yet. So saying, if it's tomorrow Ramadan, if I'm traveling tomorrow, I'll break my fast. So what if you realize that you're traveling after Dhuhr? Would that break your fast? The answer is no. It doesn't break your fast. It does not break your fast. Wallah. Yes. Let's have one now.
No, actually, is it mandatory that we should eat suhoor?
Is it mandatory to eat suhoor? The answer is no. It's actually coming tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he recommended that we eat suhoor. And he said, تَسَحَّرُوا فَأَنَّ فِي السُّحُورِ بَرَكَةً. We eat your suhoor because there's much blessing in suhoor. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. What is it exactly? How much suhoor should be? Should it be a full meal, 3 courses? Or how should it look like? We're going to talk about it tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. Nah.
While you are traveling, is it haram?
It's not haram to fast while traveling, but the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, لَيْسَ مِنَ الْبِرِّ الصِّيَامُ فِي السَّفَرِ. It's not recommended to fast while traveling, even though he himself sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was seen fasting on a journey. Salawatullah wa salam alayhi. So it's a matter of ability and capability. Many people, they ask these confusing questions because they say, when I travel, let's say when I'm coming back from the east towards the west, the day is going to be like forever. So when am I going to be breaking my fast? I said at home before you leave, inshallah ta'ala. Because you're traveling. Don't confuse yourself and don't put yourself to so much difficulties by fasting an extended 6-7 hours. So just break your fast that day and make it up afterwards, inshallah. I know people, they feel kind of guilty to break their fast in Ramadan, even if it was legitimate for them. And some of them, they don't. It's not a matter of feeling guilty, it's just they don't want to fast anything after Ramadan is over. For them, the entire year is all about Ramadan. You fast Ramadan and we're done. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Until the following Ramadan. So it's okay to fast while traveling, even though it's not recommended. Wallah.
So as far as the niyat for making the makeup fast,
Mm-hmm.
do we need to do that individually, or if we say I have to make up 5, make 5 together and then?
No. If someone needs to make up, let's say 5 days, 6 days, whether a lady, for example, for a period, or someone was traveling and so on. If you needed to make up 5-6 days of the month of Ramadan after the month of Ramadan, do you have to have the intention for the block of these 5-6 days, or do you need to have an intention for every single day? The answer to this is actually an intention for every single day, because now they're different. They're separate days that you need to make up for them. It's not like having the whole month of Ramadan all together. Wallahu a'lam. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك